If you need some inspiration or just want good company, whatever you are looking for, you'll find it here indeed, in meaningful mornings. Meaningful mornings. Meaningful mornings.
Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. We just completed 8 years of silence retreats. We've had 8, and over 200 seekers have been part of this. And I was recently sharing with the recent retreaters, one of the best parts of the silence retreat is how few emails I get. Because everyone's in silence. Now, extrapolating this to our workshop, the best part of the morning is that you have less thoughts. Yes? And if you can infuse the mind, the intellect with inspiration, when there's less output, the rest of the day, you have less thoughts too. Scene 1 of Bhagavad Gita is Dhritarashtra in a sabha, in a assembly, asking Sanjaya what happened in the field. Dhritarashtra, for us, is raga or attachment. Sanjaya, subjectively, is independence or swatantra. Scene 1. We're now in scene 2. In the field, Duryodhana is speaking to Drona. Drona has a passive role. He is sort of listening. He's not replying. And this shows an insight into Drona that he's an employee. He's a worker for the Kauravas. Whereas Duryodhana, wherever there's attachment, there's fear. Raga expresses as bhaya, and so much of the dialogue that Duryodhana is spewing, this is fear-based. In the last verse, verse 9, we come to understand more clearly Duryodhana is living in his own world. He thinks all of this is happening for him. All of the people on his side have gathered for him. All of the people on his side are ready to die for him. Deep egotism. I don't think any of us are like that overtly. Covertly, yes, but overtly, no. Philosophically, I had brought up the difference between sacrifice and compromise. Sacrifice is holding on to dharma and letting go of adharma. Compromise is the opposite, holding on to adharma and letting go of dharma, why we compromise, we don't inquire enough. We're not engaged in long-term thinking. As simple as, if we all inquired more, engaged in more long-term thinking, would we use styrofoam? Would we use plastic? But we do this because we think money, saving money, or convenience is more important, yes? But for whom? For how long? If everyone thought like that, and the majority do, how long will the environment go on? Understood about how this compromise happens due to lack of insights. And that's why Meaningful Mornings for almost 40 weeks, we're focusing not on breathing. We're not focusing on exercising. We're focusing on insights. We continue. We're still in scene 2, but this is a build-up. Scene 3 is about to begin. Chapter 1, verse 10. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma birakshitam paryaptam tvidamete balam bhima birakshitam. Duryodhana is speaking to Drona, and he says, Aparyaptam tadasmakam, our side, our army is limitless. Essentially, he's saying, is bigger, is better. Now, I'm going to share with you a series of numbers now. There's no philosophy involved in this. It is all fascinating. On the Kaurava side, there are 11 Akshohinis. An Akshohini is a unit of an army. And this unit is grand. Here's what's involved. 21,870 elephants. The same number of chariots, 21,870. 3 times that amount in horses. So that puts us at 65,610. And 109,350 soldiers. If you add all of this up, the elephants, chariots, horses, and soldiers, the number is 218,700. This is one unit. And how many do the Kauravas have? 11. So their total strength is 2,405,700. As compared to the Pandavas, who have 7 units, their total is 1,530,900. Now, one point that commentators tend not to share, they're not accounting for the charioteers, because the charioteers are not warriors. Yet, they can still be harmed and be killed, correct? In war, there tends not to be rules. When you add that amount in, okay, and this is really just the number you need to know. If you want to know the other numbers, you can listen to the recording or just Google it. Everyone is fascinated by this. The total number of humans in Kurukshetra is at least, this is a minimum, 4,330,250. 260. To give you the magnitude of how many are involved, for your reference, in my limited research, the Chinese army has 2.2 million people today. The Indian army has 1.4 million, and the American army also has 1.4 million. So marginally more than everyone who's assembled in Kurukshetra. Just to give you how grand this is, how significant this war is. And Duryodhana says, Abhirakshitam, we are protected by Bhishma. Bhishma is the one who's intense. So not only is our quantity greater, but our quality is greater too. In comparison, he says, Paryaptam tu idam etesham. As for the Pandavas, their army is limited. We have 11, they have 7 of these units. And they are being protected by Bhima. Some commentators have shared that Bhima is one who is of fickle mind. And I was thinking about this more. At one point in Bhima's life, he was a cook, a chef. His name is Ballava. His name was Ballava. And for anyone who cooks a lot, you multitask, don't you? So maybe this is the reason for Bhima being described as of a fickle mind. This is all that is shared in this verse, is the numbers involved. And Duryodhana, who's afraid and dejected, he's trying to come out of that. And you will see that he's not able to do this by himself. That is when scene 3 begins. Briefly, some philosophy. For those who have no dharma in their personality, in their lifestyle, they are fearful. They're full of fear. I'm giving you a framework for you to gauge how integrated you are. For those who have more adharma than dharma, your personality is daring. Daring. You get these moments of whatever emotion, but it's just being daring. Like people who skydive. They feel that they're courageous, but that's just adrenaline. For those who have more dharma in their personalities than adharma, they are courageous. Dharma happens in an event. Courage happens every day. Like how courageous you all are to listen to me for 40 weeks in the morning. I respect and admire that. And finally, those who are completely dharmic, integrated, they are fearless. So now you gauge, are you fearful, daring, courageous, or fearless? To application, your application yesterday was, why did you compromise? And I read deep insights that you had shared about habit, about following the crowd. My observation on this, we compromise when we feel what we're going to get outside is going to be greater than what we're going to get inside. Like, me being popular is more important than me being peaceful. Then what do? Compromise. Your application for this morning, as we leave Duryodhana, and we're going to soon, I want you to summarize what are the egotistical expressions of Duryodhana of ourselves. Summarize that. I've shared lots. Make sure you're tracking that. That becomes a framework for you to grow out of the ego. And announcements wise, 15 days ago, I had shared we are beginning to raise funds for our Chinmaya University. And as of right now, we have 213 sponsors. And we have 10 days to go to reach 300. Please keep coming forward for us to reach our aspiration. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.